for the video conference, and usually memang masa video conference saya tak on camera sebab saya read research papers yang during video conference macam ni. Nombor satu, it will save much more data in case kalau ada student saya yang guna internet connection dia tak berapa bagus, and then number two, it helps you to concentrate more if you just take a look at two different stimulus only. Tak adalah multitask banyak sangat. Okay, ada visual, ada audio. So kita cubalah tengok pada malam ni macam mana. So saya nak cuba try test dulu. In your padlet right now, for this particular slide, you have the ability to draw any part of this slide. So inside my Padlet app right now, I can see Aish Naufal dah masuk, Naim dah masuk, Rohaizan dah masuk. Artun 79 ni siapa ya? Artun 79. Okay, Amalia pun dah masuk. Welcome Iza. So, okay, I already have 5 students in here. So, please feel free to draw anything on that particular slide. How are you feeling today? You can circle any emoji, or you can draw your own on the yellow circle over there. So, as you can see here, in my own dashboard, each of the submission ni saya nampak nama dia siapa, tapi dalam Google Meet, you can see your friends answer without knowing their names lah. So usually this is how I do my class. In your own Padlet is the question, atau usually memang almost every slide you have to respond lah. Nak kena fill in the blanks ke, nak kena draw ke dan sebagainya. And then in the Google Meet is the answer. Selalunya sample answer saya akan share dalam Google Meet lah. And at the end of this class, when I end this session, this particular app will send you a copy of all your submissions and all the notes that I've shown you throughout the class. So saya tak perlu share PDF kemudian lah, automatically at the end of the session, give it around 30 minutes, this app will send it to your email. So okay, thank you so much Atun, thank you so much thank you so much Naim, and also Iza Hanin for your response. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, now selamat berkenalan. Okay, selamat berkenalan. Siapa ni ya? Ada Haikal, ada Atif. Okay, so a quick survey sebelum kita mula. Selamat berkenalan, nama saya Cikgu Nadra. Saya dulu mengajar di Sekolah Menengah Agama Persekutuan Kajang dan Sekolah Menengah Sains Bagan Datuk. Kemudian saya cuti belajar 2 tahun. Sekarang reposted to Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Seksyen 9. Saya baru saja selesai saya punya postgraduate studies. Saya baru masuk sekolah around 6 months macam tu. Tapi memang this is my third form 4 group lah. Maknanya untuk students tuition form 4 saja saya ajar around 30 students. I have 3 different groups. So you are the third group. So sedikit survey. So what kind of device, what type of device that you use for this particular class? Saya nak survey dulu sebab saya perlukan data ni untuk tahu what type of device that you are using so that I can adjust my layout for the next class. So you can just click and drag the icons and bring it to your device. Rohaizan pakai apa? Atun pakai apa? Naim, Damia pakai apa? Okay. So in my Padlet right now, we have 8 students. Alright, tadi quite a few of you kata the clash class the clash. Okay, Atun saja belum respond. Okay, alright, I can see most of you are using laptops. Atun saja tak dapat respon ya. Okay, tak apa. So anak-anak, today we are going to go through chapter 3 first, because I was requested to skip chapter 2 and start off from chapter 3. But for chapter 3 sebenarnya the chapter is quite big compared to chapter 4. So what we will do is perhaps we will go through around 70% of the content for chapter 3, transport across plasma membrane, and then another 30% kita cover esok in addition to chapter 4. Okay, so kita tengok speed kamu pada hari ni. It's okay if you think that I have to go a much slower pace. Please respond. Please give me the feedback so that I can adjust the pace of my teaching accordingly. Tak semestinya group ni mesti sama dengan speed group-group lain. I will assess your feedback as much as I can so that I can adjust my pace and my notes according to your needs. So, sedikit introduction. Based on what you have learned up until now, what are the living processes conducted by a cell? So, in your PDEC right now, there is a text submission button. So, you can type your answer. What are the living processes conducted by a cell? Okay, make sure that you are part of the right PDEC. I have here inside here ada Aish Naufal, ada Damia, ada Haikal, Iza, Naim, Renusha, Rohaizan, Atun dan juga Siti Maisarah. Good. Lovely to see you all inside the PDEC app. Please respond. Yes, very good. Cellular Respiration. Kenapa kena share jam file? Kenapa share jam file? Why you share jam file? Is it because you cannot enter the PDEC? Alright. Sekejap. I will give you the link. Kalau tak boleh masuk PDEC ni, bagi tahu saya ya. Sebab saya boleh bagi nota PDF. Okay. Atif, kenapa share Jamboard? May I ask? Oh, dah lah saya ni access. Ceng-ceng. Okay, tak apalah. Okay, so cellular respiration. Apa lagi processes conducted by a cell? If it is a living cell, what are the characteristics of living cell? Kalau dia adalah living cell, living organism, apa yang dia buat? Proses apa yang kamu dah belajar sampai sekarang? Sel buat proses apa? Adakah sel sama je dari awal sampai ke akhir hayat dia atau there is a difference? There is a time where the cell increase in size ke? Increase in numbers ke? Atau produce something ke? Okay, what do you think? What do you think? Iza, Amalia, Naim, what do you think? Haikal ni pun tak jawab lagi ni. Atif belum masuk dalam saya punya PDEC, so click on the link dekat ruang message tu. Okay, dekat ruang message tu ada link untuk nota yang kita tengah gunakan hari ni. So you respond in there. Because in this particular app, I can also give you a personalized response. Saya boleh bagi respon secara personal dalam app ni yang orang lain tak boleh nampak. Okay, yes, osmosis. Good. Okay, lagi.
Teacher?
Yeah?
Will the class be in English?
Yes, I will always use dual language. First explanation in English, second explanation in Malay. Boleh ke?
Yeah, but can I write the answer in Malay?
Boleh. Oh, are you non-DLP student?
Yeah.
Oh, kalau macam tu next class saya akan buat dua bahasa punya notes. Okay, thank you. Boleh tulis jawab dalam bahasa Melayu, tak ada masalah.
Thank you, teacher.
Yeah, you're welcome. Lagi? Ish. Apa lagi? So, dulu kita ada belajar meiosis. Mesti sebelum cuti hari tu kamu dah masuk. Yes, simple diffusion. Alright. So, some of the living process conducted by a cell macam cellular respiration, osmosis, simple diffusion, growth, cell division, production of enzyme. Ini semua kita dah belajar across the chapters that we have learned so far. And those are the living processes conducted by the cells. So proses yang dijalankan oleh sel ni ada banyak. Proses apa yang menunjukkan sel tu hidup? Sel tu grow, sel tu buat respiration, sel tu produces organic substances macam enzim, antibodies dan juga hormon. Okey, disebabkan sel-sel ini conducted different living processes. Therefore, these cells need a specific way to gain substances from out of the cell into the cell, and also to excrete waste substances from inside the cell to out of the cell. So, as indicated by your friends here, macam indicated by Siti Maisara, by Aish Naufal, by Renusha, these processes occurs at the plasma membrane. Okay, proses untuk dapatkan nutrient from out of the cell and to excrete waste product out of the cell requires plasma membrane control. So these are the components of plasma membrane. Now, can you label, okay, use the text tool. Okay, pada kamu punya pedek tu ada tool, dia ada logo T. Label, can you label kesemua komponen-komponen dalam plasma membrane tu? Okay, boleh label dalam bahasa Melayu. Ya, Adawiyah? Alright. Use the text tool to label all the components of plasma membrane in the diagram.
Teacher, do I write it like that?
Yes. Ni write it on the diagram. Misalnya A tu apa, B tu apa, right next to it. Okay, thank you for asking, Adawiyah. Okay, very good. Okay, I can see some of you have already submitted. Thank you, Adawiyah. Thank you, Atif. Damia, very good. Amalia, very good. Bagaimana pula dengan Naim? Okay, Naim, please label the diagram. Atun, Haikal Haizam, Siti Maisara, Ruhaizan. Belum lagi ni. Please label. So I can gauge your understanding. Ini adalah paling basic ni, paling asas sekali dalam, okay, please take a look at the Google Meet ya. Cara untuk label on the diagram. Misalnya right next to D tu, okay, katalah D tu kamu nak label sebagai apa. So you write there what is the label. Okay, sebagaimana contoh yang kamu tulis ni. Okay, I give you one example ya. Okay, this is an example from Atif Rifki. Bagus. Cara label kolesterol tu sangat baik. Very clear. The text, the size of text very clear. Sama juga dengan Damia. Damia, okay, saya tunjukkan dalam Google Meet sekarang. Okay, Damia telah melabelkan channel protein. Very good. Let's take a look at Amalia's answer. So Amalia, dia dah label phospholipid molecule. Bagus. Alright. And then Aish Naufal pun saya dah nampak ada label kolesterol kat situ, on the way nak label phospholipid, dan macam-macam lagi lah kan. Teruskan. So in the Google Meet now, kamu akan nampak the text a bit messy sebab ada bertindih-tindih because it is the summary of all your answer. Okay, and after this, I will show you one sample answer, one by one sample answer, so that I will comment on that and I will take a screenshot, a sample answer, and I will share it in the Telegram. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Let's see here for phospholipid molecule. Okay, phospholipid molecule macam Adawiyah cadangkan ni. Okay, the way you label is very good. A is phospholipid molecule where the A1 and A2, A1 dengan A2 tu apa? Labelkan dekat situ kan. A1 tu is what component of the phospholipid molecule, A2 tu is what component of the phospholipid molecule. Okay, very good. Okay, when you want to label transport protein, can you clarify whether the protein is channel protein or carrier protein? For example, macam cadangan jawapan daripada Damia ni. G tu dia label specifically as channel protein. Very good. Okay, good Damia. Keep it up. Keep it up. Okay, Amalia almost finished. Remember, instead of transport protein, we have to be specific. What kind of protein we are talking about? Channel protein ke carrier protein? Okay, alright. Yes, protein liang. Betul tu. Oh, I see. Okay. So, I know now already some of you are non-DLP students. So, don't worry. Next notes nanti saya akan buat dua bahasa ya. Tak ada masalah. Saya memang boleh sediakan notes dua bahasa to help both DLP and non-DLP student. Okay. So, mari kita tengok sama-sama jawapan kita. Okay. I can see that some of you are on the right track already, almost finished. Bagus. Okay, so let's see here. A is phospholipid molecule and A1 is polar head. And then A2 is the non-polar tail. Okay, A ialah molekul phospholipid. A1 ialah kepala fosfolipid, A2 kepala hidrofilik, kita juga boleh sebut hydrophilic head. A1 is hydrophilic head atau kepala hydrofilik, A2 is the hydrophobic tail atau eco-hydrophobic. Tak ada masalah, you can label that just like that. Okay, untuk B kita nampak di atasnya ada tanduk dekat situ. So, I agree with you. Okay, I agree with Adawiyah bila Adawiyah labelkan itu sebagai B is the glycolipid because the tanduk on top there, tanduk atas tu untuk B tu adalah glycogen rantai glycogen chain. So the glycogen chain is connected to the lipid, phospholipid. Sebab tu nama dia glycolipid. Macam cadangan Adawiyah ini. Okay, sekejap saya tunjukkan dalam Google Meet. Okay, and then itu untuk B. Untuk C, Ada biar nanti betulkan ejaan glycolipid tu ya, sikit lagi. Okay, and then glycoprotein pun sama. Glycoprotein dia tak ada H ya. Okay, so untuk C is a protein, D is the glycogen chain. So gabungan C dengan D tu membentuk glycoprotein. Okay, tak ada masalah kalau kamu tak label C tu protein, D to glycogen chain, tak ada masalah. The combination of C and D is glycoprotein. Okay, itu C dengan D. Kita tengok dekat huruf E. E is cholesterol, good. And then F is the protein. Okay, memang in our plasma membrane, they are embedded proteins yang bukan transport protein. Dia tak transport, dia embedded, dia terlekat between phospholipid molecules. We don't have to label it in our syllabus. Level kita tak payah label. Nanti bila kamu pergi ke biology higher level, baru kita akan label huruf F tu ya. And then G is the channel protein atau protein liang. Anak-anak, what is the type of transport protein that we don't see here? The type of protein that we don't see here is the carrier protein. Saja je saya letak carrier protein tu. Saja je saya letak nak tengok student boleh kena pasti tak carrier protein tak ada. Memang tak ada dekat dalam rajah ni ya. Okay, so good job also Renusha. Okay, you just need to label glycolipid untuk B. Very good. Okay, saya tengok satu-satu ya. And then the next one Adawiyah dah. Atif Rifki. Okay, full mark. Very good. H dengan I pun dia label phospholipid bilayer. Syabas. Bagus Atif Rifki. Okay, and then let's take a look at Damia. Okay, Damia, bagus. Damia mengasingkan label C dengan D tu. C tu dikata protein, D tu dikata glycogen chain. Yes, I agree with you. Okay, cuma Damia tinggal nak label phospholipid je kan? Okay, teruskan Damia. Okay, Amalia, yes, thank you for using a different color for your labeling. I can see clearly your labeling. Syabas. Okay, so your labelings are good. Full mark, bagus Amalia. Okay, Iza, okay, Iza on the way dah nak siap, bagus. Aish, yes. Full mark Aish. Oh sorry, tinggal satu. Channel protein belum label. Rohaizan, phospholipid belum label dengan dui lapisan phospholipid. Okay. Alright. Siti Maisara. Okay, sikit lagi. So, selalunya bila saya bagi latihan macam ni, kita akan ada satu sampel answer daripada kawan-kawan kan? So, this sampel answer, I will screenshot it and put it in the Telegram. Kerana apa? Why? Because PEDEC will only send your answer to your emails. Jawapan kawan-kawan lain dia tak hantar. Jadi kalaulah kamu dapat nota nanti, kamu tengok jawapan kamu tak lengkap, you can refer to the Telegram to get the sample answer. Alright anak-anak, mari kita tengok labeling kita sudah. Now let's take a look at this particular diagram. So this diagram shows a characteristic of plasma membrane. Rajah ini menunjukkan satu ciri membran plasma. This is a 2 marks answer. Ini adalah jawapan 2 markah where the first question is, what is the characteristic of plasma membrane shown by the diagram? Number 1. Number 2, can you explain your answer why you say the characteristic is that? Soalan ni ada 2 lapis. Nombor 1, apakah ciri yang ditunjukkan oleh rajah tersebut? Nombor 2, bolehkah kamu terangkan jawapan kamu itu? Okey, ini soalan 2 markah. Mari kita cuba sama-sama ciri apa kat situ. Kita tengok Ada yang warna hijau, arrow dia straight, boleh tembus ke bawah. Tetapi ada arrow hijau dah sampai plasma membrane, keluar, patah balik. Apakah ciri plasma membrane kat situ? Boleh jawab dalam bahasa Melayu atau bahasa Inggeris. Tak ada masalah. Okay. Alright. Okay. Kita sudah ada beberapa yang ada idea kat situ. Okay. Apa ciri kat situ? Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, good. Thank you for your submissions. Okay. Let's see here. Characteristic. Telap memilih. Telap telap memilih. Semi permeable. Dua-dua tu betul ya. Okey, menunjukkan ketelapan memilih, bersifat telap memilih, ketelapan memilih atau selectively permeable. Why do you say that? Apa yang dalam rajah tu yang menunjukkan sifat dia telap memilih? Bolehkah kamu gunakan specific examples shown in the diagram? Okay. Kenapa ada substance boleh tembus, ada substance tak boleh tembus? Apa sifat-sifat substance tu? Okay. Apa sifat-sifat substance tu? Okay, I agree with you. Satu markah dah dalam tangan. Markah yang pertama, kita nyatakan sifat dia iaitu selectively permeable atau menunjukkan sifat ketelapan memilih. Very good. Number 1. P1 dah dapat. Point 2, cuba tengok diagram semula. Let's see the diagram. You can see here, kenapa? Apakah ciri-ciri gases, hydrophobic molecules, small polar molecules compared to large polar molecules and charged molecules? What differentiates between the two groups? Okay. Jawab dulu. I can. Okay, let's see here your answer. Okay. Point number 1 tadi, you have already mentioned the plasma membrane is selectively permeable. Membran plasma bersifat sepala terlap kerana I agree with you when you say bahan-bahan yang larut lipid dapat merentasi membran plasma. Bahan-bahan yang tidak larut lipid tidak boleh merentasi membran plasma. Good. That is a good idea. totally agree with you. Okay. Okay. Untuk Amalia, you are almost there. It only allows certain molecules to cross it seperti yang dicadangkan oleh Aish Naufal. Very good. Because it only allows certain molecules to cross it. Yes. Okay. Untuk meningkatkan lagi ketepatan jawapan Aish ni, let's us include in our answer, it only allow certain types of molecules to cross it. Okay, tambah sikit. Tapi jawapan Aish tu betul dah, tak ada masalah ya. Okay, so jawapan ni dia ada jawapan ni 2 markah, tapi daripada summary of your answer, I can see 3 points. Point number 1, the diagram shows that the plasma membrane is selectively permeable. Rajah menunjukkan plasma membrane mempunyai sifat ketelapan memilih. Point number 2, kita boleh ambil jawapan daripada Aish Naufal, iaitu because it only allows certain types of molecule to cross it. Point number 2. Point number 3 adalah daripada Adawiyah, explain further by saying bahan-bahan yang larut lipid dapat merentasi membran plasma kerana dui lapisan fosfolipid terdiri daripada lipid. So, kita ada 3 point kat sini and the combination of these 2 answers will create a complete answer. Okay, bagus. Okay. Yes. Tak apa anak-anak. At least most of you today malam ni dah dapat 1 daripada 2 markah. Selamat berkenalan dengan sampel soalan kertas 2 SPM 4551/2 untuk kertas 2 biologi. So bila kita tanya dalam paper tu, this is how we do it lah. Macam mana kita nak apply pengetahuan mengenai characteristic of plasma membrane. Okay, now let's take a look at this diagram. Okay. So, for this particular slide, saya tak ada apa-apa soalan, tapi I give you the ability to draw on the slide so that you can take notes. Okay, kalau kamu nak draw apa-apa dekat situ, silakan. It is for your own notes. Diagram ini saya ambil daripada textbook. Okay, diagram ni saya ambil daripada textbook supaya macam kita punya resource adalah sama saja kan. Tak ada beza-beza lah. Okay, so saya tunjukkan saya punya saya tunjukkan satu apa nak sebut kat sini. Saya punya boleh rujuk pada saya punya screen. Okay. Now, sebagaimana yang dicadangkan oleh Adawiyah tadi, the substances that can move across plasma membrane are the substances that can dissolve in lipid atau dalam erti kata lain boleh larut dalam lipid yang saya highlight warna oranye ni. So, when we see the lipid soluble substances can diffuse into the phospholipid bilayer, when we take a closer look, examples of the substances that are lipid solubles are fatty acid, glycerol, fat soluble vitamins, and also steroid compounds seperti kolesterol ataupun hormon yang diperbuat daripada kolesterol seperti estrogen, progesteron dan juga testosteron. So, another group of substances that cannot diffuse through plasma membrane because they are lipid insoluble are small molecules and ions and also large molecules. Tetapi anak-anak, however, we can see that if the molecules are very small, like water or gases, okay, walaupun dia tidak lipid it is lipid insoluble, tidak larut lemak, tetapi molekul seperti air, oksigen and carbon dioxide are very small, sangat kecil, boleh menembusi phospholipid bilayer. If the molecules or the substance is small but it is ionic, mempunyai charge, sama ada charge positif atau charge negatif, it cannot, okay, it cannot dissolve through phospholipid bilayer. They have to go through another route, which is the channel protein. And lastly, anak-anak, another type of lipid insoluble substance is large organic molecule. Dia tak ada charge, but the size is too big. So it cannot diffuse through phospholipid bilayer. It has to go through carrier protein. Okay, it has to go through carrier protein. So anak-anak, based on this slide, I want to ask you, do you have any questions regarding this particular part? Ada apa-apa nak tanya? Saya minta bagi nombor pula ya. Salah. Sekejap ya. I change it to text. Okay. So ada apa-apa soalan tak nak tanya part ni?
Teacher,
Ya.
sorry for interrupting. I nak minta izin keluar dulu boleh?
Okay. Boleh. Kenapa? Ada kelas?
Sejarah kelas.
Oh, alright.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Alright. So, as I mentioned here, the first factor is whether the substance is lipid soluble or not. Faktor yang pertama ialah substance tu boleh larut lemak atau tidak, nombor satu. Nombor dua, saiz molekul sama ada besar atau kecil. Kalau saiz molekul tu kecil, saiz bahan tu kecil, dia boleh menembusi plasma membrane. Tetapi kalau dia kecil, ada charge macam K+, Na+, Ca2+ dan sebagainya, tak boleh tembus membran plasma, kena lalu channel protein. Kalau saiz molekul tu besar, perlu lalu carrier protein. Okay, let's try this. We know that based on these three characteristic, molecule size, polar molecule and ionic charge, ada beberapa pathway for substances to go in and out of the cell. In general, these substances, this type of transport can be divided into two groups. Secara umumnya, pengangkutan merentasi membran plasma boleh dibahagikan kepada dua kumpulan, whether it is active transport atau passive transport. Can you state two differences between active transport and passive transport? Bolehkah kamu senaraikan dua perbezaan antara pengangkutan aktif dan pengangkutan pasif? Boleh tulis respons. Kamu boleh mulakan dengan pengangkutan pasif ada apa, pengangkutan manakala pengangkutan aktif apa, passive transport bla 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 bla, whereas in active transport bla 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 bla. That is how we write comparison atau differences. Okay, based on the diagram. Yes, I agree with you. The most significant difference, perbezaan yang paling jelas antara keduanya ialah the requirement of energy. Bagus. Passive transport does not involve the use of energy, whereas active transport use energy. Bagus. Okay. I agree with you. So, anak-anak, please make sure that when we write differences, okay, when we write differences, kita kena tulis lebih kurang macam ni, okay, macam Amalia dan yang Rohaizan ini tulis. Alright. So, these two are good way, a very good way untuk menulis perbezaan. Bila kita tulis perbezaan, sekarang ni kita nak bezakan dari segi apa? Tenaga. So, kita bandingkan tenaga dulu. Kita tak boleh macam senaraikan pengangkutan aktif ialah ini nombor 1, nombor 2, nombor 3. Manakala pengangkutan pasif ialah nombor 1, nombor 2, nombor 3. Tak boleh. Kita kena kata pengangkutan aktif nombor 1, pengangkutan pasif nombor 1. Pengangkutan aktif ciri nombor 2, pengangkutan pasif ciri nombor 2. Kena setara. Okay, lagi satu difference. Okay, now I have one difference already. Okay, Renusha's idea is in terms of concentration gradient. Good. Okay, now we have two differences. Okay, okay, so the first one is the use of energy. The second one is movement from high concentration gradient, high concentration area to low concentration area. While active transport is from low concentration area to high concentration area. My advice to you, Renusha, is to separate the use of energy into a different sentence. Sebab itu adalah dua poin berbeza. Bila Renusha letakkan sekali macam ni, most likely pemeriksa akan terlepas pandang dan dia akan consider Renusha bagi satu difference saja. So can you separate it into two different sentences untuk use of energy tu. Use of energy tu asingkan macam yang Amalia tulis ni. Asingkan. Okay. Alright, very good. Okay. Your idea is very good. Okay. Bagus. So most of you have already identified the difference are in terms of the use of energy and the movement of substances, whether it is down concentration gradient for passive transport and against concentration gradient for active transport. Alright, so saya dah screenshot dan saya lampirkan jawapan ini dalam Telegram. Let's see all the other answers over here. Sebentar ya. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so for others, berhati-hati, kamu baru dapat satu markah ya. Jawapan Damia, Aish, Naim, baru dapat satu markah. Okay, ada Wiyah pun. Sekejap ya. Okay, ada Wiyah, sekejap saya hantar mesej ya. Okay, I agree with you. Untuk Adawiyah, argument Adawiyah ialah dia kata active transport ni, passive transport occurs until it reaches dynamic equilibrium. Whereas active transport occurs continuously until there is an accumulation or excretion of substances. Okay, so ada 4 difference kat sini. Nombor 1 penggunaan tenaga, nombor 2 concentration gradient, nombor 3 ialah sampai bila proses ni berlaku. Passive transport bukan berhenti, essentially sampai mencapai keseimbangan dinamik. Active transport berlaku secara berterusan. Selagi ada sel tu hidup, ada tenaga, selagi itulah pengangkutan aktif berlaku. Okay, so I give you around 1 minute to update your answer. Nanti kita akan move on to the next slide. If you want to see sample answer, I'm showing you right now the sample answer in the Google Meet. Kan nak salin daripada kawan-kawan punya kan? Okay, sorry to interrupt your answering. Okay, kita nak pergi ke yang seterusnya pula. Okay, now kita tengok passive transport. Sorry saya terpaksa move on to the next one. Okay, kita nak tengok passive transport. There are 3 types: simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion and osmosis. Osmosis saya akan discuss in a separate session. Maknanya macam bila saya dah habis semua simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion dan active transport, baru saya akan masuk ke osmosis because it is a quite a big subtopic. Okay, saya tak nak campur bau bincang pasal osmosis, saya nak bincang osmosis saja. Okay, let's take a look at simple diffusion. So simple diffusion, okay, in that box over there is a box for definition. Apakah maksud resapan ringkas? Apakah maksud simple diffusion? Is it a process or is it a substance? Who moves? Siapa yang bergerak semasa simple diffusion? Dari mana dia bergerak? Sampai bila dia bergerak dan sebagainya. Okay, can you find the definition for simple diffusion? Okay, Okay, Naim, what do you think? Atif, what do you think? Okay, Maisara tak ada. Okay, Aish, Haikal, what do you think Haikal? Iza, Damia, what do you think? Apakah maksud simple diffusion? Is it a process? Selalunya kalau kita tak sure nak define macam ni, yelah masa exam kan. Kita tengok dulu term tu, kita mulakan dengan is it a substance or a process? Katalah macam define enzyme. So enzyme is a substance. Define osmosis. Osmosis is a process. Bagi tahu dulu dia adalah kategori apa. Okay. And then work your way from that. Okay, let's see your answers here. Good. Okay, I agree with you when you start with, kejap ya, saya besarkan sikit. Okay, I agree with you when you start with a process kan. Okay, okay, terpaksalah kecilkan sikit fontnya. Okay, so here is one sample answer. Okay, saya ada dua sample answer sini. Kiri dan kanan ni in English and in Malay version. So, dia ada beberapa ciri. Ciri pertama, when we define, okay, we mention what is the category of the term. Is it a process? So simple diffusion is a process. Movement of substance atau movement of molecules of ion from where to where? From area of high concentration to area of low concentration. Dan dia ada syarat tambahan, this process occurs until dynamic equilibrium is achieved. Okay, so resapan ringkas adalah proses pergerakan molekul or ion dari kawasan berkepekatan tinggi ke kawasan berkepekatan rendah. Tak sebut menuruni kecurunan kepekatan pun tak apa. If you have mentioned molecules or ion move from area of high concentration to an area of low concentration, there's no need to mention concentration gradient. Pilih salah satu. Kamu boleh sebut sama ada you can also say simple diffusion is a process of movement of molecules or ions down concentration gradient. Pergerakan molekul atau ion dari menuruni kecurunan kepekatan. Settle. Tak payah dah tulis high concentration area to low concentration area. Cuma kena tambah lagi satu syarat dekat sampel jawapan yang saya bagi ni, until dynamic equilibrium is achieved. So, plasma membrane, okay, thank you so much Naim. Okay, Naim pun kena tambah until achieve dynamic equilibrium. Atif is on the way. Good job Damia, I can see your submission and it is a complete submission. Syabas, bagus. Okay, alright. So, okay, complete submission ya. So, anak-anak, simple diffusion is a process that can occur with or without the presence of plasma membrane. Tak ada plasma membrane, resapan ringkas boleh berlaku. For example, bila kita contoh paling famous ialah bila kita spray perfume lah. So, when we spray perfume in one corner of a room, after some time, the other side of the room will smell the perfume as well. Bila kita spray perfume pada satu ruang dan satu sudut bilik, kita dapati selepas satu jangka masa, seluruh bilik tu boleh bau perfume tersebut. So that is also a simple diffusion in action. Tetapi anak-anak, bila kita cakap dalam sel, simple diffusion ni mestilah berlaku merentasi plasma membrane. Therefore, simple diffusion occurs at the phospholipid bilayer area, berlaku pada kawasan phospholipid, di mana hanya substance yang lipid soluble yang seperti fatty acid, glycerol, vitamin A, D, E, K atau very small molecules such as water, oxygen, carbon dioxide, those are the things that can diffuse through phospholipid bilayer via simple diffusion. Okey anak-anak, mari kita cuba satu sampel soalan ini. Based on the diagram, so diagram shows a change that occurs when a small amount of potassium permanganate crystal is put into water. Rajah menunjukkan satu perubahan yang berlaku apabila sejumlah kecil hablur kalium permanganat dimasukkan ke dalam air. Okey, bagaimanakah proses ini berlaku? So, apakah nama dia punya guide dia, saya ada tulis kat situ. Apakah nama proses tersebut? Markah dia, oh sorry, kat sini markah dia 2. Okay, markah dia 2. So, kamu pilih mana-mana satu. Kamu kena nyatakan dulu nama proses ni apa. Kemudian proses ni apa dia punya step-step dia. Dan apakah end result yang kamu nampak selepas tu. Okay, mari kita cuba dulu. Don't worry, I will guide you step by step. Kita mulakan dulu dengan diagram 1.1 shows what process. What is the name of the process? Okay, we start from there. Osmosis. Okay. Untuk osmosis, okay, kamu tengok kat sini. Okay. Dalam rajah ni anak-anak, mula-mula kawasan yang warna hitam tu satu tempat saja kan. Tapi at the end of the process, seluruh beaker tu jadi warna hitam. So proses yang berlaku dekat situ, yes, resapan ringkas. Kita tak boleh kata proses osmosis berlaku sebab apa? Sebab tak ada membrane kat situ. Kalau kita nampak ada membrane, misalnya macam ada sel tumbuhan ke kat situ, ada sel haiwan ke kat situ, atau ada whisking tubing ke kat situ, sebab whisking tubing tu is our lab version of phospholipid bilayer. Itu adalah kita punya imitation of closest imitation to phospholipid bilayer. Okay, so point 1 dah dapat. Proses yang ditunjukkan ialah resapan ringkas. Okay, ingat balik definition resapan ringkas, kita apply balik dalam konteks soalan. Tadi kan kita dah define tadi, simple diffusion is a process where apa tadi? Molecules or ions move from where to where. Okay. So kita boleh gunakan apa yang kita define tadi untuk jawab soalan ni. Okay, good. It does not involve energy. Yes, yes. Okay, lagi. Mari kita cuba. Mari kita cuba. Yes, yes. Tulis apa saja yang kamu rasa berkaitan kat situ. Saya akan guide kamu untuk susun. Okay, okay, Damia, Naim, Aish, tulis. Don't be afraid. Okay, kita tulis. Okay, let's see. Sebab dah bertindih-tindih ya, tak nampak pula. Alright. Okay, most of you have already mentioned that simple diffusion. Good. Okay, kemudian ada yang bagi idea does not involve energy. Good. Okay, lagi. Apa lagi karakteristik? Dalam definition tadi kita tulis apa? Okay, prosesnya different. Follow concentration gradient. Okay, good. That is very relatable. Memang kita kena cakap pasal concentration gradient kan? Okay. Lagi? Okay, so anak-anak bagus ya, bagus. Thank you for attempting to write your answer. Yes. Okay, we have a few examples here. Okay. Okay, okay, kita work on this. Okay. So tadi dalam definition kita cakap apa? Simple diffusion is a process where molecules or ions kan? Betul tak? So anak-anak, sekarang ni kita tukar. Simple diffusion is a process where potassium permanganate crystal move from where to where. Tambah kat situ, anak-anak tadi kan kita ni kau. Okay, sekejap ya. I change it to student pace away. Okay. Okay. Tak apa. Saya faham. Mungkin you are not so much emphasize on apa nak sebut, kamu tidak didedahkan sangat dengan teknik menjawab soalan. Okay, so tak apa, saya ajar hari ni, tak ada masalah. Okay, so tadi in definition you say in the definition you say the movement of molecules or ions from high concentration area to low concentration area. Betul tak? So sekarang ni kita ubah movement of potassium permanganate. Good. Okay, potassium permanganate. Good. Betul. Teruskan. Betul. Okay, itu point. Dah ada point yang kedua. Movement of potassium permanganate. Point kedua. From high concentration area. Anak-anak, kalau kita nak mention high concentration area, dekat beaker tu, high concentration area, before tu, high concentration area tu dekat mana? Dekat atas beaker ke, atas larutan ke, atau bawah larutan? Okay. Okay, so kalau kita tengok kat sini, potassium permanganate crystal mula-mula semua berkumpul di at the bottom of the beaker kan. So the process is simple diffusion, point 1. Point 2, it is the movement of potassium permanganate from the bottom of the beaker to the upper part of the beaker. Kenapa saya cakap bottom of the beaker pergi ke bahagian atas? Sebab kan definition dia ialah from high concentration area to low concentration area. Dalam beaker tersebut, high concentration area kat mana? Di bawah beaker, di bahagian bawah beaker. Low concentration area kat mana? At the top of the beaker. Okay, thank you for updating. I can see from your answer. So simple diffusion is the movement of potassium permanganate from the bottom of the beaker to the top of the beaker, kan? So at the end, okay kan, ke clue yang terakhir tu ialah what is the end result? At the end of diffusion, the whole water in the beaker turns to black. Tak apa, tulis achieve dynamic equilibrium tu pun betul, tak ada masalah. Macam mana kita tahu dah capai dynamic equilibrium? Apa yang kita observe bila kita nampak dah mencapai dynamic equilibrium? Kita nampak seluruh beaker itu bertukar warna ikut warna potassium permanganate, which is sebenarnya actually purple, tapi sebab printed jadi hitam, so kita katalah hitam, tak ada masalah ya. Kalau nak tulis purple pun betul. Sebab potassium permanganate warna purple sebenarnya. Tapi yelah, bila printed macam ni, kita nampak hitam, kita cakaplah hitam. Okay, so seluruh beaker bertukar warna hitam. The process continues until dynamic equilibrium achieved, where the whole beaker turns to black. Okay, bagus Amalia. I can see you are updating it now. Okay, Naim, jangan lupa update seperti mana contoh yang kawan kita berikan di sini. Okay, terus update, terus tulis. Okay, boleh tengok dalam Google Meet now. Okay. So, Renusha boleh tambah. At the end of the process, the whole beaker jadi black. Okay. Izzah pun boleh tambah. The whole beaker jadi black. Tambah dekat situ result dia apa ya. Okay. So, I will screenshot these answers and share it in the Telegram ya. Alright. So, I will give you another 1 minute to update your answer seperti yang ditunjukkan oleh kawan kamu ni. Sebelah kiri jawapan versi bahasa Melayu, sebelah kanan versi bahasa Inggeris. Soalan ni saya memang ambil dari soalan SPM sebenar lah. Okay, hopefully it gives you a glimpse of sorry. In case you want to copy this one It gives you a glimpse of how the topics that we are learning right now is applied in the context of exam. Kan dalam konteks exam macam ni kita apply. Ya? Okay. Boleh please update your answer. Jangan lupa. Okay. Oh, Haikal the left sebab dia ada kelas. Okay. Siti Maisarah pun tadi ada kelas. Okay. Okay. So, untuk sekarang ini, saya unlock screen. Boleh terus update. Sorry. Boleh terus update. Okay. Sekarang ni, untuk mereka yang masih lagi menyalin atau tengah update jawapan pada slide 16 ni, you have the time to do that. Okay, saya bawa pergi ke slide seterusnya ya. I give you another 1 minute. Okay, tapi untuk mereka yang dah settle, kita nak pergi ke slide seterusnya. Okay, anak-anak please go to slide 17. Okay, kamu boleh move to slide 17. Okay, pergi slide 17. Okay, sorry. Okay, pergi ke slide 17. Can you compare these two types of facilitated diffusion? Can you compare these two types of facilitated diffusion? Tadi tu kan, sekejap ya. Tadi tu ada seorang student yang tengah update slide 16. So you can go back to slide 16 if you want untuk update kamu punya slide. Tak ada masalah. Siapa yang dah update slide 16, please go to slide 17 yang seperti saya pamerkan in Google Meet right now. The one that I'm showing you in Google Meet right now is slide 17. If you are still trying to update slide 16, please do so. You can go back. So, tolong boleh untuk yang lain, please answer slide 17. Can you compare facilitated diffusion between these two types of protein? Bolehkah kamu bandingkan resapan berbantu antara protein liang dengan protein pembawa? Okey, anak-anak, mari kita bandingkan antara these two type of facilitated diffusion. Kejap ya. Okey, semua orang dah dekat slide. Alright, very good. Semua orang dah dekat slide ni. Slide 16 dia dah updated. Thank you. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. Alright. Okay. Okay, good. You have good similarities there. I totally agree with you. Memang proses ni does not require energy. Good. Okay. Okay, let's see your answer here. Allah Akbar. Okay, so tadi yang Renusha tulis tu betul ya, what you have written tadi is very good. We can see here 3 sodium ions enters the active site of the carrier protein. Okay, anak-anak sekarang ni pun dah 9:58. I don't want to take much further of your time. So discussion about active transport over here and subsequently osmosis saya simpan untuk esok lah. Saya pun tak nak tak nak ambil masa yang lebih. So before we end our class today, I would like to summarize what we have just discussed. Number 1 is we have label the components of plasma membrane. Kita dah kena pasti komponen dalam plasma membrane. And then kita dah kena pasti sifat plasma membrane. We have identified the characteristic of plasma membrane and we have also differentiate. We have compared between active transport and passive transport, and we have also explained how simple diffusion occurs, and we have also compared between the two facilitated diffusion, which is the carrier protein and channel proteins transport. So ini memang setiap kali habis kelas saya akan minta ni. This is our reflection for today. Based on what you have gone through today, can you provide me a feedback? What did you like about this class? What didn't you like about this class? What was easy? Apa soalan atau aktiviti yang kamu rasa senang? What was hard? Dekat what was hard tu, if there is any part that you need for me to repeat dan sebagainya, please share in what was hard. Sorry Amalia ingat apa saya mute microphone ya. Okay. Sorry. Thank you for quote unquote calling me. Okay, so can you please update this particular slide? What did you like? What didn't you like? What was hard? What was easy? What was hard tu kalau ada part yang nak saya repeat, tulis dekat situ. Atau mungkin masa kamu belajar osmosis tu kamu rasa, okay, masa saya belajar osmosis, part ni yang susah. Tulis dekat what was hard so that I may address that particular issue tomorrow during our next class. Apa yang kamu suka? What did you like during this class? Ke semua pun tak suka? Tulis dekat what didn't you like tu. Semua pun tak suka, semua pun susah. Tulislah so that I can improve. Cuma my first reflection of the day is untuk nota esok, saya akan make sure nota esok dua bahasa. Okay? Saya akan make sure. Structure of plasma membrane tu susah ya. Oh, difference tu susah ya. Okay. Soalan potasium permanganit tu susah. Alright. Nak banding channel dengan carrier protein tu susah ya. Okay. Tulis. Kalau apa soalan tu what was hard tu under subtopik osmosis ke active transport pun tulis juga ya. I will address it next class nanti. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for your submission. Tulis je apa-apa. Saya akan akan buka padlet ni sampai pukul 10 suku. In case katalah kamu ada teringat apa yang susah masa belajar osmosis tu, tulis kat sini ya. Nanti saya akan address di isu esok. So, thank you so much for your time. Dan setiap kali kelas saya akan upload video ni dalam YouTube dan link dia saya akan bagi dalam Telegram ya. So, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your attention. Have a nice day everyone. Assalamualaikum and good night.
Thank you, teacher.